Thank you for tuning into our seller interview series. Up today, we've got an Amazon Associates business for sale on the home and garden niche. Created in April 2014, this business makes $5,184 per month in net profit, and the listing number for the business is 44848. We do these interviews to give potential buyers more information about both the seller and the businesses they're looking to purchase. We hope these insights are helpful for you in making a buying decision. We've got the seller with us today to go through the business and cover everything from niche selection to traffic and monetization. Stuart, thank you for coming on here today.
No problem.
Before we dive into the questions that I have for you, I want to go ahead and run through a little quick summary of the business. Again, the business was built in April of 2014, has a monthly revenue of $5,206, expenses of $21 to make for a net profit of $5,184, which is generated on a 12-month average. Included in the sale of this business are the primary domain and all site content and files, and the Facebook account. Stuart, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Yes, I probably started back in 2012, building websites for friends and family and stuff like that. And after a while, moved into just wanted to try and make an income online beyond client work, and came across the Amazon Associates scheme. And just used my web building skills along with coming from a literature background at university and things like that. So started looking into that and writing content for the site, which we have for sale.
So why did you settle upon this particular niche?
That's a good question. I guess sort of starting out, I was just looking at all the online forums and the different gurus out there with advice on keyword research and just basically how to excel with the Amazon Associates program. So partly that and an interest in the types of products that I'd be writing about, because I felt that would, obviously I'd create better content because of that interest.
You have an interest in it, so why have you decided to sell it today?
Well, after 4 years, yes, and I've written all the content for the website. In between time, because as the site has built up and become a good revenue earner for me, that's allowed me time to concentrate on other projects. So those other projects are sort of my priority now. So it now feels a good time to sell the asset that I have.
When you take a look back over the last year, you notice pretty steady profits. I mean, that's the wonderful thing about Amazon Associates. It stays pretty steady, but then you have a big dip up in, the winter season. Is that due to just the holidays, or are these products that benefit from the Christmas time?
I guess a lot of product websites do benefit with the Christmas purchasing, and I certainly have seen that over the last few years with this site. So Q4 is excellent for me. And this year that carried on nicely through into the new year as well. And I think, into the spring maybe, because of the types of products that there is. But the summer season, it just quietens down a bit ready, and then takes off again after that.
When you talk about Amazon Associates, as you and I were talking about before we hopped on this interview here, the first thing that comes to mind for a lot of people is the hands-offness of this business. You can run it with very little time commitment. How much time do you put into this business on a weekly basis?
Now, and for a while now, to be honest, it's just been a few hours a week just to check the analytics. I will say I was putting in that 5 hours might actually include the first 6 months of this year, just updating some of the content to make it more relevant for 2018. But really, it's a wonderfully passive business. It's been my main income earner, a really good earner, and I have enough time to grow these other projects, which I've been doing.
You mentioned content on the site. So are you the primary writer, or do you outsource writing?
I've written everything which is on there, yes. There's obviously opportunity for buyer to outsource what they'd like to do. But to get the site into its current position and earnings and all the rest of it, I do think it's got a lot to do with some quality, in-depth articles on there.
So you clearly then have a level of expertise in the niche then. Is there a big learning curve for a new owner to come in to get up to par with how much knowledge you have on the niche?
I wouldn't say so, because the home and garden niche, and when you're talking about the products and then the how-to guides that I've written for the website, some of it is sort of common sense. It's just a case of researching a topic maybe and pulling together the information and writing the content. It's not as if I'm full-on expert in all which has been written on the site. It's just that I've just produced quality content by doing my research and looking into it. So I do think that anyone taking it on would be able to write more content for it or outsource to the relevant people.
There is a Facebook page associated with the business, and obviously the large percentage of Amazon Associates success comes from great SEO work, which I know that you have. So
Yeah.
when talking about the Facebook page, have you put a lot of effort into social media marketing?
Not at all. I mean, that's definitely an opportunity because I've created a Facebook page, posted. That's really a place to post once I'd posted content live on the site, I would then send a link to Facebook, but I've not done any advertising on Facebook or anything like that. I really do see that as an opportunity for someone who would buy the site to really kind of tackle that, maybe if that's their forte or they're interested in that kind of thing.
Is all of the revenue for the business from the Amazon Associates program, are there any revenue streams that are outside of Amazon?
There's one revenue stream. It's through Share a Sale. And yeah, there's probably only about 10 articles which may be linked through to Share a Sale affiliates. But that's been just a little extra on top sort of thing. I mean, it's great that just ticks along nicely. And again, someone taking it over could expand upon that because there's a lot on Share a Sale as well as other affiliate programs if people wanted to look into that too.
Speaking of that, is there a reason why you settled upon Amazon Associates to start with rather than tackling a bunch of different affiliate programs?
I think it's the barrier of entry. I mean, back in 2014, I was still really, quite inexperienced and just starting out. So, yeah, to be able to have access to millions of products and just, you stick the link in or there's plugins where you're able to link through with ease. It was just a natural choice, I think.
It's obviously going along very well as is, but if you were to keep the business, what are some of the major ways that you would try to grow the business? Where do you see the major opportunities?
The major opportunities come through continuation of creating content. I do believe the site has got such sort of good domain authority and all the rest of it that with a bit of keyword research, so you don't choose ridiculously competitive products because then it's always going to be difficult to get to the front page of Google for that. But with a bit of keyword research, you add more content, that it's always going to do well with the site, I feel. And then beyond that, there's email marketing. I really haven't tackled that at all with the site. The social media that we touched on before. There's definitely ways of growing out the site for anyone taking it over.
How often did you say you're adding to the content that's on the site?
Well, see, that's where I think the big opportunity is because I probably stopped creating the big reviews the Q4 last year. I've been letting it run, earning the money. And then the new content, which was added at the beginning of this year by me, was the guides, it was the how-tos, because I wanted to balance out the site so it wasn't too review content heavy. Just to sort of make it a bit more broad in that respect. So that's what's been added more recently, as well as touching up some of the old content to be relevant with 2018.
What do you feel are some of the bigger risks associated with this business that a potential buyer should be aware of?
At the moment, because it is reliant on organic search, so you've always got what big Google might do in the future. But having said that, I know that it's a very clean site because I'm not an SEO man in the way of building links or anything like that. So the content which is on there, as I've said already, is good in-depth content. And then I've just picked up backlinks along the way with that, I guess. Or going back to social media, actually, there's been a few articles which have done well on Reddit, and that created backlinks, I think. I got front page Reddit with a couple of sort of funny articles on the site. So, yeah, it would be because you never really know what Google or Amazon might change their terms and conditions,
And speaking of Amazon, the risk from just playing in their sandbox, potential way to mitigate that, as you've already mentioned, is to try to diversify the number of, where you are in affiliate programs. So if you get in all of these other places where you're recommending products and are part of these programs, that could mitigate some of that risk.
No, for sure. Yeah, that's probably a wise thing to do going forward. But yeah, there are so many other affiliate programs out there which to do with the products that are on the site, that would definitely be a way to mitigate risk, to spread that out a bit more. Yes.
Amazon Associates is a very interesting business model. And were there any big learning materials, whether it be a blog or a podcast or a person who kind of mentored you in some kind of way, that our listeners would love to hear from as well if they want to build an Amazon Associates site?
I followed Niche Pursuits to start with early on. I felt there was some good information on there. Authority Hacker, that's another good website that I was using, but that was more just to build a good online property. But there's some great information on there. And Rank Excel has been another good website that I've enjoyed the content on. All of those have helped build up my skill set and my knowledge in creating a worthwhile online asset, which is healthy.
If you could go back and tell yourself one piece of advice, what is the big thing? What is the one thing that you wish you had known when you were starting this business?
It might sound quite trivial, but I would say back in 2014, the content that I was creating, so for that first year, I've ended up deleting some of it in the end, but it was just sort of smaller reviews with not enough weight on one product with not the best keyword research. And so it kind of, and I guess the authority of the site wasn't, it's quite new back then as well. So when I realized that if I spent substantial amount of time creating great content and putting out, because a lot of it's top 5 product review articles, so they're longer, and that has really helped me. Things just catapulted after that, to be honest with you.
Would you commit to a non-compete?
Yes, of course.
How much support are you willing to offer a new owner during the transition period?
Yes, because of this, I do feel the site is really quite simple to run in its current state. So I think anybody taking it over, I'm happy to give a month's worth of Skype and email chat. And then, and some guidance, maybe my thoughts on what they should do going forward. But maybe someone buying has completely their own ideas. But yeah, no, I'm definitely wanting to be around to make sure that the new owner can really run with it and take it to its next level as well.
Are you willing to discuss something like an earnout?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Stuart, thank you so much for taking the time. I do have one final question for you, but before we get to that, I want to go ahead and run through that little quick summary of the business again. The business was built in April of 2014, has a monthly revenue of $5,206, expenses of $21 to make for a net profit of $5,184, which is generated on a 12-month average. Included in the sale of this business are the primary domain and all site content and files, and the Facebook account. Stuart, could you put yourself in the shoes of a buyer and looking at it, why do you feel like this is a business worth buying?
I think somebody new, fresh, taking this on, it's just it's already earning good money and they will have the focus. They would have paid for it, they own it, and they'll have the focus to take it forward and increase content. If they're good at link building, things like that, the SEO side of things, that's a massive opportunity there. There's just ways that someone taking it on for the first time will really be able to run with it. And as I said, it's because I've had it for quite a while now. I'm concentrating on a few other things as well that, I just feel it's time to go to a new home.
And there's also opportunity to outsource some of the content writing and other work to make it even more passive than it already is.
Oh, for sure, yes. I mean, it's passive in its current state because of the content they're already doing well. But to grow it, outsource, that's just one simple thing you could do. Outsource for more content and just see the revenue increase.
Stuart, thank you so much for taking the time today. I've really appreciated it.
Not a problem.
If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. And if you want more information, the link will be below the video that will take you to this marketplace listing. If you're watching this on the listing site and want more information, become a depositor today. When you make the deposit, one of our business advisors will be in contact with you, and you will be given everything you need to review this business. Have a great day.